What is the most severe case of spoiled child syndrome that you have ever seen / heard of? An old friend of mine and his family are loaded. They constantly get the newest car, massive house, multiple out of country vacations a year first class, and he'll get the most expensive tickets possible for concerts, and mommy and daddy would never say no. When the iPhone / and iPod touches were blowing up, he asked for a very specific color and GB for the iPod touch. It was near Christmas time and they were sold out everywhere. His mom was so disappointed that she paid a lady at the mall double the price of the newest iPhone maximum GB while she was walking out, and so he could get something similar since she couldn't find what he really wanted for Christmas. Fast forward to Christmas Day, he opened the box and was so pissed it wasn't what he wanted that he threw it so hard onto the floor, saying that it wasn't what he asked for. It was destroyed. Then he called her a B*** and left to his room without opening the rest of his presents. She then had a breakdown and went to the mall again to ask for what he wanted for the next few weeks, until yet again someone had just bought one and she paid double to gift it for him again. That was the last time we ever spoke, and from what I hear, he has no job, still lives with mom and dad, no high school diploma, upgrades his Mercedes every year, and decided that he's going to be a rapper or nothing at all. Spoiled child syndrome that bled into adulthood. I work at a collection agency and this guy racked up a $200k debt. Thing is, anything of that size we had to go over financials. Dude got $60k a month from his father. A month. He got more in a month than I do in a year. But still followed procedures. He claimed huge amounts for expenses. Didn't add up to the $60k though, only $20k a month. Dude could pay off his debt in half a year. He then informs me he can't afford the $40k monthly payment as he is renovating his house and spending all of that $40k each month on said renovations. Thing is, he was technically employed by his father and that was a garnishment source. So when he basically threw a tantrum and hung up, I just hit send on a wage garnishment, which his father would likely see. My ex's niece. They got her a car. She wrecked it. So they got her another one. She wrecked that one. And so on. There were about 4 cars they got her, one right after the other, during the years I was with her uncle. Oh. And speaking of one right after the other, guess what else that applied to? Her kids. She had 3 little kids, back to back, who she never took care of and used to foist off onto her mother, my ex's sister, to take care of. Oh, and she never had a job, she'd just live there and sponge off the parents. Well, why can't you get a job, Donna? Because I have 3 kids I have to stay home and take care of, but your mother does that because you ignore them. And as soon as the littlest one would be big enough to go to school, leaving her no excuse to not get a job, she'd pop out another one, and there you go. Can't possibly get a job with an infant to take care of, except her mother would take care of that kid too. So she and her 3 little children had free room, board, and child care while this girl went out partying, and if she wrecked the car they gave her, they just bought her a new one. This had been going on from the time she was 16, when I started dating her uncle, until she was 25, when I broke up with him. I don't know if it's still going on, but probably. Hosted and gave a lecture to a cooking group, plus kids, and as a thank you for this free event the organizers gave me some cupcakes they had baked during the workshop. One of the kids started screaming at me that she wanted the cupcakes and almost pulled the plate from my hands. The mother very softly said that those were meant for me, and the kid shouted while stamping her foot, "But I want them." She, meaning me, doesn't want them. The mother just looked ashamed and did not say anything further while the kid ran off angry. It's not about the worth of the cupcakes, more about the sheer confidence in the kid's eyes that I would hand the thank you gift I had just gotten over to her just because she wanted them. I used to work at a big chain grocery store and there would be screaming kids and such, but I do have a horror story. So this mom and her 2 sons, 6 and probably 13, came in one summer day and the boys just started acting out. They rode in the carts and crashing into walls or displays. Mom does nothing to quiet them. They continue to run around the store, causing chaos and irritating customers. When they got to the soda aisle, all hell broke loose. The kids grabbed soda bottles and started shaking them and then opening them. Soda sprayed everywhere and their mom did nothing. My manager just had enough and confronted the mom, calling her sons little brats and that she was going to pay for the sodas that were opened. She refused and said, "I'm not paying for something I'm not going to buy." People then pointed out the sodas that were opened and the mess her kids made. They were just having fun. She yelled, but no one took her side. A uniformed officer happened to be in the store and confronts the mom with the threat of writing a ticket for unpaid merchandise. She paid, but she left her cart of food behind. My manager then banned her and her brats from the store, crying that their 16th birthday present was a used BMW and not a brand new Mercedes. Story goes she got T-boned at an intersection later that week, totaling the car, and not her fault. Rolling eyes. The replacement car was a brand new Mercedes. Because it's safer. Rolling eyes higher. To the kid's credit, she graduated college, top of her class, and went to an Ivy League school for a law degree. She now absolutely earned her brand new BMW, the irony, and is making a good salary helping disadvantaged people with law issues. So, in the end, a pretty good story, I guess. Our neighbor had 2 children, a boy, 8Y.0, and a girl, 6Y.0. Trust me when I say that the boy was the most spoiled brat I've ever seen in the entirety of the 17 years of my life. I used to hear about the stereotypes on how Indian mothers coddle their sons too much, but this boy's mother is on a different level. He would throw tantrums all the time if his wishes weren't fulfilled, thrashing on the floor, whining, threatening that he will kill us. He locked our front door. Old houses have locks outside too, once because of which my whole family couldn't be at the places they needed to be. If he was asked to do anything by his elders, he'd reply, "No, I'm a boy. Boys don't need to do housework. Girls need to do such things," after which he would proceed to drag his sister and make her do it. Everyone just laughed, uncomfortably or not, I will never know. His mother just used to say, "Well, he will grow up. After all, he is my darling son." The mother always put her son's wishes first. I pitied her daughter. She wore the hand-me-downs of the brother. They were faded, and sometimes they were even torn. She was scolded a lot too. We moved away later. I sometimes wonder how the daughter's doing. I hope she is fine and has left the family for good. Though, I guess she will just be married off as the family is extremely conservative. Beats me why they even moved from Rajasthan to a capital city. The last girl I dated was spoiled, but at the same time, that lead to being naive as well. She knows all about designer stuff and how to decorate a house, but it was only 10 months or so ago that she learned about the space station and that people are in space year round, that we have rovers on Mars and space probes past Pluto, that our solar system is in a galaxy and the galaxy is in the universe. She thought the solar system was the universe. You may say so what, but she is a teacher in the local school system who has no basic understanding of science whatsoever. She thought that Einstein was the guy that either built or designed the Eiffel Tower. That aside, she has no basic living skills. She can't cook and often wonders why her cup/glass/bowl is on the table or counter where she left it. She called me asking for directions the first time she had to do laundry. One call for the washer and 30 minutes later another call for the dryer. She has no money management skills due to her family's wealth and always being supplied cash. Now that she is not at home, she can't understand why her account gets to zero. I have been there. When she goes to buy something and has NSF, she will say, "How is that possible? Where did the money go? Can you help me find where the money went?" Like it's just sitting in another account or something. She moved out from her parents at 33. She's 36 now and has no idea how to support herself and feels entitled when things are not exactly how she expects them. Mom and dad still pay for cell phone, internet, Netflix, car insurance. All she pays is rent, food, clothing and beauty products. I remember when she got this blank stare because I said I couldn't afford to drop almost $5,000 on a trip with no warning. It turned into why don't you want to go with me? And couldn't understand when I said it wasn't about her, it was about going on a trip that cost $5,000 and leaving in 2 weeks. No warning for work, just drop everything and go. Not to mention, if we booked the trip months in advance we could have done it for half the cost. I can't imagine how she will make it when her parents are gone. I teach karate, and every once in a while there are super spoiled kids that come. One girl is spoiled because her mom is the greatest example of a Karen that I have ever seen. One night during our normal class time, 40 minutes long from warm up to bowing out, mind you, she asked to get a drink because she was thirsty. She wasn't coughing, sick, exhausted, or anything that would indicate she needed a drink right that second. It's also a well-known rule that once they are on the mats, they can't leave unless it's an emergency. She asked my coworker, and he said no, because the class was going to end in 10 minutes anyway. She didn't listen to him and left the mats anyway to get a drink. When she came back, he told her how she didn't follow directions and left the mats without permission. He wasn't yelling or anything, just being stern, because she wasn't listening. She started crying, and her mom threw a fit to our boss to get him fired for disrespecting and humiliating her daughter in front of the whole class. No one noticed the situation, and even if they did, it wasn't that serious. I'm still amazed to this day this was all because she didn't follow the rules and got in trouble for it. Like and subscribe for more content.